give a couple more seconds for a few more people to join in. Won't be too long. All right. Well, welcome everyone to our product wrap-up webinar for 2022. We really appreciate you being with us here today, and we're really excited to go over the highlights of what entered ApprovalMax in the last 12 months. So my name is Chloe Wilson. I'm the new product marketing manager here at ApprovalMax, and I'm joined by Alina Zelenskaya, which is our head of customer success at ApprovalMax. How are you going, Alina?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Chloe, for a short introduction. I'd like to add for myself that our customer success team is really happy to assist our partners and customers to implement ApprovalMax smoothly, take the most out of the product, and as well demonstrate the new features, which we are going to do right now. Back to you, Chloe.
Great. Thanks, guys. Okay, so we'll go through a quick agenda for today's session. So we're going to start the webinar with a quick poll where all of you in the audience will be able to answer a question and interact with that. Following that, we'll do a quick introduction to ApprovalMax. I know there's a lot of you in the audience who are users and clients of ApprovalMax, but it is important to mention that we do have some people in the audience that are yet to use the product. So we'll do a very quick introduction there for you. Following that, we'll run through the significant updates that landed in the ApprovalMax product this year. And then we'll talk about some brand new integrations that also landed in the ApprovalMax ecosystem for 2022. Following that, we'll give you a quick and exclusive teaser for what's coming next year. And then after that, you'll get a chance to have an exclusive question and answer session with us. We will have Alina answering lots of questions, and we also have some customer support team on the call that will be also answering questions. We'll get to as many as possible, but if your question isn't answered, don't worry, we will ensure that we get to it via email after the webinar. So let's get started. So let's start off with the poll. We'd love to know what percentage of your business processes are automated. You should be able to see a box for you to answer the question, and we'll give you a couple of seconds to answer. Few more answers coming through. Fantastic. So I can see here we've actually got a clear winner. So most of you are telling us that about 20 to 50% of your business processes are automated. So let's segue from that into a really quick introduction about what ApprovalMax does. So ApprovalMax is the #1 tool to get your financial documents approved on time, and it is a financial document automating product. It's part of the Xero ecosystem since 2016, and it's actually one of their top preferred Xero apps at a partner level. We've got over 245-star ratings on Xero, and we've actually been the app partner of the year for 2020, 2021, and 2022, which is really exciting. That was just announced. We also integrate with QuickBooks Online and NetSuite. So ApprovalMax, as I said, is an automation tool for financial documents. And what it does is unlock powerful efficiencies for approvers and finance teams. It completely replaces all of the manual, which includes paper and email approvals. So you can go paperless and remove all those other manual ways that you use to approve financial documents. It keeps approvers out of the accounting system, which means that your accounting system is even more secure than before, uses budget checking to validate spending, and it can match bills with relevant purchase orders, which can also prevent fraud. Approvals can be made via the web or our mobile app, as well as in the email inbox. So it means that any decision makers can do approvals on the go. And we also generate automatic audit reports, which is extremely handy for a lot of businesses, ensuring that they can keep on track with understanding who and when has approved what documents. Okay, so now we've done our quick overview, let's jump straight into the significant updates that have landed in ApprovalMax in 2022. We're going to start with duplicate checking. Alina, are you able to dive in on this one for us?
Sure, with great pleasure. The duplicate checking actually very simple feature. It works straightforward. You get the notification on top of your bills where the system is telling you that potentially this bill might duplicate another one and provides you a link for you to double check this information. I really think that this feature, being so easy, is very handy both for our accounting firms and also bookkeepers, as well as our customers, because nobody wants to pay twice for the same thing. So it's really great that we have released this feature this year. If I'm not mistaken, that was one of the most wanted features and voted features in our list of customer feedback. So I'm really happy about that. Chloe?
Thanks, Alina. It's really great. And I know that this is a feature that would save so much time and hassle when you're concerned that there could be a duplicate invoice or purchase order in the system. So it's a really great one to discuss. Okay, so let's move to the next feature. And this is enhanced bill to PO matching for Xero. Alina, what are your thoughts on this one?
The bill to PO matching really provides you with much more capabilities right now. I personally love this advanced matching that we have released this year because it allows you to do three things. First of all, you get the flexibility because you can match many to many documents. You can actually be very specific because you can restrict your requesters, people who create the purchase orders and match them. You can restrict them on how they can and what they should match, because you can say, for example, that bills cannot be pushed into Xero or QuickBooks Online before they got through the matching. At the same time, you can be flexible here, as mentioned on the first point, because you can say that, okay, but for some recurring bills or small purchases where we do not create the purchase order, which will be an overhead for the business, you can say, okay, we don't need to match them with purchase orders, and those bills can be pushed into the GL system. So, but the third one that I like a lot is the automation of the manual procedures. As our clients and partners answered, 20 to 50% of their processes are automated, and even more can be added to this automation. And basically, this feature allows you to mark, for example, your purchase orders as billed, because the system understands that there are a few bills attached to the purchase order. They have been all fully approved. Then this purchase order has to be marked as billed. And you don't have to spend the time of your managers and pay those costs just to mark the purchase order.
It's fantastic. And it's a really great example of the sophisticated control and accuracy that you can gain with ApprovalMax. Thanks for going over that one, Alina. So our next feature that we'd like to touch on is similar to the last. It's bill to PO matching specifically for QuickBooks Online. And Alina, what makes this feature for QuickBooks Online so special?
You're absolutely right that there is a difference between those two. The additional settings such as automation, the flexibility, the ability to match many to many is absolutely the same. But the structure, like how you can actually match, differs. And what is different is that in Xero, you can allocate a specific amount of the bill to the purchase order. And for the QuickBooks Online, you can actually match line by line item. What I also want to mention here is that a few of our partners shared with us, they can actually save up to 15 minutes on a weekly basis for each client if they will implement those advanced matching and will use all the capabilities for the automation, flexibility, and other things, which is great from my point of view.
Yeah, it's really excellent. And I can understand some firms who do have a lot of clients, that extra 15 minutes per client would really quickly add up to a lot of time saved. Okay, so the next one that we're going to go over is flexible templates for emails to suppliers. This one's really important for saving time and consistency. What other details would you like to mention about this one, Alina?
I would like to mention that our partners and clients, everyone that I know are very structured, and many of them have supplier relation policies, and I think they will love this feature because you can standardize your approach and you can standardize the email and information that you send. Even though this feature looks very simple and straightforward, just an email template, if we have a broader view on this feature, we will understand that it allows us to avoid delays actually in the delivery of our purchases, because we are avoiding those back and forth as answering the questions of our suppliers. Additionally, if we include all the information, make sure we send everything correctly to our suppliers in this first email. And of course, as mentioned before, there is an automation. So as soon as you fully approve the purchase order, it will be automatically sent to your supplier.
That's fantastic. And it is always great to have a template already working in the background for you to give you that extra peace of mind that all the information's there and everything's always looking professional. So that's a really great new one. So another one we'd like to discuss is new date ranges for out of the office. And Alina, why is this one so important?
I'm really happy actually to have this feature, because we are, of course, using ApprovalMax for our internal approvals of financial documents. And before, to be honest, it was a bit of a pain when we didn't have the date range, because you had to actually remember to set the delegate for yourself when you are already packing your luggages and ready to move to the airport. And at the same time, when you are back from, for example, vacation or business trip, and you're overloaded with those emails that you have missed, you had to remember to just remove the delegate. At this point of time, I can prepare for my Christmas vacations, for example, and I can preset the delegate for myself and be sure that on the start date, the system will automatically transfer all my open requests to my delegate. And at the same time, on the end date, I will receive all open requests back to my email box.
That's really handy. And we know with Christmas and New Year's coming up that this one's quite an important one. And it is another one that gives businesses quite a good peace of mind, knowing that all of those approval workflows that are required are still going to keep going through while everyone's taking different days off. Okay. So we have one more poll for you to fill out for us. And our question for this one is, are you using Xero batch payments? If yes, would you like to be able to run multi-step approvals for these? I'll give you a couple of minutes to answer that one. Great, lots of answers coming through. Great. So the most popular answer at 70% is yes, we'd like to have an approval process for them. So that is great news because we have Xero batch payments approvals in ApprovalMax. Alina, are you able to touch on this one?
For sure. The payments are really important, and we all know that in any situation, any economical part of the year and actually situation, we all responsible for correct payments, and we really need to make sure that this process is smooth and we make everything absolutely right. And for the batch payments, I would like to start with the functionality that we provide first. First of all, let me cover the structure of the approval workflow itself. So our system allows you to create batch payments here in ApprovalMax only at this point of time. You have two criteria to restrict the creation of the batch payment, which are the supplier name and the bank account you are going to use to send your funds from. For the criteria of approvals, you have actually 4 of them. You have the amount, you have the supplier, requester, and also the bank account from which you're sending the funds. Everything is absolutely the same. The logic is similar to any other workflow. You have as many steps, as many approvers as you want. And let me actually give you a short demo of the creation process, because this process is really simple, but important, and we have very nice features at the same point of time. So Chloe, let me please share my screen and show the creation process.
No worries.
I hope you all see my screen and you see the batch payment creation here. As you see, we have 3 fields on top, which are the payment date. So we will select something here in the future. The bank account, which is synchronized with my Xero account, and I will choose this St. George Bank, and the reference number if you need to add anything else. When we're going to add bills, we can play around with our filters. So for example, here you can see that we can filter out all the bills for a specific supplier. We can filter out by different dates and amounts. But what I like the most is this group by supplier option, which allows you to see all the bills per each supplier and select them with one click. As well, you can see that there is a grouping by age, and you can see what bills should be paid sooner and which bills can be added to the batch later. So let me, as an example, add a few bills here, for example, those 2, and show you that when you are working with the creation, you can see that you can do the partial payment. So for example, you can just choose this field and change the amount. This would be the partial payment, and we're going to pay 1,000. If we do that, when we create the next batch, we will see this spot right here, which will tell us that some amount has already been allocated to another batch, which is being approved, and you will be able to see the corrected already amount based on the previous batch. You can add the reference, and here, those are the bank account details of your supplier. If I would have something in Xero for this supplier, the number would be visible here. But for this point of time, we have restricted the correction of the supplier's bank account details. And as you see, it is grayed out. As well, I would like to show you that if there is an attachment to a specific bill, you can click on it and you can see it side by side and double check it from your double check it before creating the batch payment. Chloe, what do you think about the creation?
I think it's really amazing functionality, and we're really starting to provide a real end-to-end solution. I think my favorite part of the batch payments is actually being able to drill down on individual purchase orders. So you can just double check exactly what's included in the batch, and it's just so easy to cross-check these things. Okay, I will share my screen again. Perfect. Thanks for going over that, Alina. We really appreciate the quick demo there. So now it's time to talk about our new integrations that have landed in the ApprovalMax ecosystem in 2022. The first one we're going to talk about is an enhancement to an integration that joined our ecosystem in 2021. You guys may be aware of Dext. They're an award-winning pre-accounting tool that automatically extracts key data from invoices and receipts and sends captured information in an enriched transaction to ApprovalMax. This year, we actually enhanced this integration by adding expense approval for QuickBooks Online. Alina, what's your favorite part of this integration and the enhancement?
I really like that Dext allows us to actually automate and improve the submitting step for our clients and partners, because when you are submitting documents, it's very easy using Dext. You can send the documents to their email, and they're all working very, very good when doing the digitalization of your PDF and other type of formats. What I wanted to point out here and share with you is that I think that the most beneficial having this integration directly with Dext and Xero and QuickBooks Online is that you are actually avoiding to send your rejected bills to your GL system. And we all want to keep our GL systems as clean as possible, and this is one more way to do that. When we are talking about the capabilities that we provide with this integration, we have slight differences between the two GL system solutions. For Xero, we have only bill workflow integrated, but through this bill workflow, you can actually submit your bills as paid and non-paid, and also expense report as paid and non-paid ones. For QuickBooks Online, we're a bit more flexible. We have a bill workflow integrated and expense workflow integration. And what is very handy is that when you are submitting paid credit card expenses, for example, for Xero, they are going directly into your account transactions part, which you can then reconcile easily with your bank statements.
It's a really great integration, and we're really excited to have enhanced this even further this year. Thanks, Alina. So our next integration, which is a new one that we're very excited to announce, is our integration with Oracle NetSuite. For those of you who haven't heard of Oracle NetSuite before, it's a very powerful ERP solution, and we're proud to announce that organizations can now automate all NetSuite approval workflows for bills and purchase orders. You can organize approvals in NetSuite, but the benefit for using ApprovalMax for your approval workflows means that you can actually keep your approvers out of the ERP solution. This means that you don't need to buy extra NetSuite licenses so people can jump in and approve things. And it's also a much faster experience to set up with more options to customize the workflows. And also it keeps your approvers and decision makers far happier because it is a much nicer solution and easier for them. And it comes with all the benefits of using ApprovalMax with notifications, etc. Alina, did you have anything to touch on with the NetSuite integration?
For sure. I'm working with the customer success team. We all pay a lot of attention to our onboarding and implementation. And here as well, because the ERP system may be very complex and it will take you a few months to implement the system. On the opposite side, ApprovalMax being integrated with NetSuite is very easy to set up. Basically, if your team is ready and prepared with all the approval workflows that they want to structure, you can do that within a few hours and be ready to test the organization or even go live within a day. The connection with the NetSuite is very simple, and the workflows, the logic of the software is absolutely the same as it is for Xero or QuickBooks Online. I would like to mention features that we have already available for our clients, and those are purchase order and bill workflows. We have our mobile application. We have the auto approval steps for your recurring bills, such as utility, direct debits, and others. As well, you can have unlimited number of your standalone workflows. And what is super important to mention, we are at this point of time working on adding custom fields, because the ERP systems are allowing us to customize our workflows better. And here we, of course, going together with the NetSuite, and we want to provide the capabilities to approve the documents based on the criteria that our clients set within the custom fields.
Thanks, Alina. It is a really exciting integration to announce. All right, let's move to the next one. So we have a brand new integration that is currently in beta, and we will be announcing when this is public. It is our integration with Dear. For those of you who don't know Dear, it's a comprehensive solution that includes modules such as e-commerce, manufacturing, purchasing, sales, and most importantly, inventory management. This has been a highly requested integration from some of our clients and users, Alina. What do you have to add about this one?
Oh, I would like to say that I've been there myself. I've been doing business in e-commerce. We had a beta store, and the inventory management really takes a lot of your time. So I would love to have Dear application at this point of time, a few years ago. But what I like to highlight that having together Dear and ApprovalMax, for example, for me as a business, would give that flexibility to approve the documents very fast and make sure that our purchases are going smoothly and super quick. Because, for example, in our store, we were delivering the goods from supplier stock. So it was absolutely critical to have visibility and have those approvals just going smoothly and automated, of course.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is a really exciting one. Thank you for sharing. All right, so it's an exciting time in the webinar. We're going to show you what's coming in 2023, well, a sneak peek. We have lots of exciting new features and improvements coming to the product, but we have a couple of things that we wanted to highlight. So we have a public API coming soon. Alina, are you able to touch on why this is so important?
For sure. I would like to say that public API is also one of the most wanted features for our multi-organization clients and our partners as well, because it would give you an opportunity to build cross-organizational reports that we all would love to have. In this data-driven world, we know that the numbers are super important, the data insights are super important, and the public API definitely something that we need to release for our clients as soon as possible. And I'm really happy to know that we are going to do that in 2023.
Yeah, this is a really exciting one. So keep your listening out to see when we release this. We'll ensure that we let all of you know. Perfect. All right, so for all of you that wanted to get in touch with us following the webinar, please make note that this is our customer success email. And you can reach out and our customer success team will contact you as soon as possible. It's now time to move into the question and answer. And it's important to note, we'll just leave about 10 minutes open to answer the questions, and any that we do not get to in this session, we will ensure that we respond to you via email. So please ensure that you leave as many questions as you'd like to answer.
Chloe, would you like to cover the first question that we have received?
Sure. So we've got our customized themes currently enabled in ApprovalMax.
Yes, this one is available to our in our purchase order workflow process. And for the purchase orders, it's very easy to set up. When you are creating a purchase order, there on top, you will see that there is a field called theme, and you can use it to brand your purchase order.
Fantastic. We've got another one that's just come through. In ApprovalMax, what would the process be for approving quotes and then having the invoices matched to the approved quotes when the work has been completed?
Well, at this point of time with the sales quote, we do not provide you with a specific workflow, but we are considering that with our product team. At this point of time, you can use the standalone workflow that you will actually create and approve the sales quotes with. And then you can have a link, but it should be added manually. Unfortunately, you cannot link the standalone workflows with your sales invoices. But this workaround may work and works for some of our clients well.
Fantastic. And I believe the same person who has asked the question that we just answered just mentioned that they were talking about purchases and not sales.
With the purchase orders? Okay. Then the matching actually can be done just for the purchase orders and bills. For the quotes, they can be attached to the purchase order. That's what you can do.
Perfect. All right, so we've got another question here. Can ApprovalMax be used for other approval automations aside from financial documents?
Absolutely. We have standalone workflows that you can use in our premium plan, and you can create as many different approval processes as you want. And many of our clients are using them for different purposes, such as, for example, HR approval workflows, legal contract approvals, and other things.
Great. All right, we have another question here. We have some clients who have multiple entities, which each have a small number of transactions. The current monthly subscription wouldn't be of value for them to pay for multiple entities. I was wondering if there's any possibility of any pricing flexibility in future based on the numbers of documents per month.
I would actually like to have a conversation with Simon directly on that, because
Sure.
we can find a solution for their clients, definitely. So if you have situations like that, when you think that the number of the documents is very low, please reach out to our customer or partner success team to help you with that.
Perfect. Thanks, Simone. We'll be in contact with you to discuss that one. Okay. We've got one here. HR function was mentioned. Do you have a leave approval function? Reports can be created from there, I assume.
Absolutely right. So when you are creating a standalone workflow for your HR procedures, you can then create the report. The report works the same way. You are selecting your standalone workflow, then you are selecting some filters, and then you are selecting the visible columns. So it works absolutely the same as any other report and provides you with the insights on your standalone solutions.
Fantastic. Thanks for answering those, Alina. Okay, I believe the same person is asking more about that question. They've asked, if the entity has hundreds of employees, will there be more charges on even more users?
If you're using Xero, QuickBooks Online as GL system, and even if you're using NetSuite also, there will be no charges on that. We do not limit you on the number of users.
It's an important one. Thanks, Alina. Okay, we'll just give a couple more seconds for a few more questions to come through, some last minute ones if anyone was wanting to ask anything while we have Alina here. I know our customer success and customer support team have been answering some other questions as well. And remember, if we didn't answer your question live, we will get back to it as well via email. Fantastic. We've got another one coming through now. If using a custom workflow for approval of documents with multiple steps of approvers and the need to make edits at each stage, is there audit tracking and an ability to update the documents throughout the approval process?
I would say that it depends on the approval workflow that the client would like to set up. So I would also like to have a call with Sarah to understand how they would like to structure the process and what is their business requirement, so we can find a nice solution here.
Perfect. Okay, Sarah will be in contact with you. All right. Well, we might wrap up our Q&A there. I'd just like to say thank you very much for everybody who has attended the webinar. We will be sending out a recording of this exact webinar to your inbox in the next 24 hours, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. If you do have any further questions, please contact us on our customer success email that we mentioned before, or feel free to respond to the email that we send out regarding the webinar. Thank you so much for joining me today, Alina. It was an absolute pleasure to go through the wrap up of 2022, and we look forward to speaking to you all soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.